Good evening. Happy Erev Shabbos. Also, for those who are not aware, Yom Yerushalayim, celebrating the reunification of Yerushalayim miraculously on this day, 56 years ago. 56 years ago. Amazing. Nisim Niflos. So tonight, break up a little talk tonight into three parts. Part one, Parsha. Bamidbar almost always comes the Shabbos right before Shavuos. Once in a while, every so many years, we get sneak in one more Parsha. Nasa will come, but typically Bamidbar is before Shavuos, and it's not just a casual connection. There's substance to it. Bamidbar, Chazal say that Medrash says a number of items about why is it Hashem chose to give the Torah to us Bamidbar Sinai. That point is emphasized in Torah many places. It's Bamidbar Hashem spoke to Moshe again and again, and the Torah was given. We all gathered around the mountain next week at Har Sinai. Why Bamidbar? So the Medrash says a number of comments, and one of them is the aspect that the Midbar, the desert, it's wilderness, it's barren, no one owns it, it's open for everyone. And so therefore, there's an aspect of Torah, it's for anyone to come, no charge, chinam. That just like it's free for anyone who wants to come, the desert, no one's charging rent, no one knows the land, there's no real estate taxes, nothing, anyone can come. So too, Divrei Torah are free for anyone to come and partake of them. No charge. Hashem gave us the Torah, I didn't charge us a penny. Now think about it for a minute. It's interesting. I don't know. Anybody bought a pair of tefillin recently? Yeah. You know how much your parents pay for the tefillin? Do you happen to know? What pair of tefillin go to? You bought them recently, right? What are they? A good pair of tefillin these days is what? $800, $1,000? Probably something like that. A good pair. You could probably get cheaper for $500, but lower than that, you start getting questionable kashrus. I had an old talus, and one of the things I had to do before my recent daughter's wedding, Baruch Hashem, was to get a new talus. So thankfully it was in Lakewood. So I don't remember the name of the shop. It's a great shop, highly recommended. Great opportunities there. I also learned from one of my newest sons-in-law about no stick talesim. So no slip talesim, because I used to wonder, how come my talus is always slipping off? Everybody else stays on. Are my shoulders like too slanted? But no, there's no slip talesim. Ah, beautiful. And all of a sudden, it never slips off anymore. And it was only about, I think, $220. And that was a bargain. I'm sure Maryland was much more. Yeah, mitzvos cost money. Lulav and esrog. I remember years ago, it used to be, it was crazy. You'd have to pay sometimes for top quality esrog, a couple $100. Now I think more people, more competition, cheaper. So what's the Lulav and esrog said? I don't know. KBI, the deluxe, this past was like $80, $90. Not so bad. But you got to pay for mitzvos. But Torah, chinam, Hashem says, no charge. You don't have to pay a penny. Now, this may come as a surprise to some people who are paying a lot of money for yeshiva and day school tuitions. Now, there's a reason why yeshivas and day schools and seminaries have to charge tuition. The basic reason is because rebbeim and moras and teachers and administrators also need to eat and pay the bills. That's one of the reasons. I know I'm getting a look here about the fact that the yeshivas here is going to have a new campaign. Should I mention? No. Okay. Not for now. But essentially, typically, that's what has to happen. Money, you need to pay the bills. But essentially, Torah is meant to be free, which means in order to learn, what do I need? So at a certain point I need a teacher. But at a certain point, when I've learned enough from teachers, and now I'm a little bit older, I need Sfarim. Okay, Sfarim costs money. However, there is no Jewish community worth its salt which does not have a base medrash. Beautiful base medrash here in the yeshiva. In KBI, the base, we have a beautiful base medrash. Beautiful Sfarim. Anyone can come and learn. No charge. All you need to have is the code to get in the building. And you can go to learn to your heart's content. You have to pay. Not even get charged for the air conditioning you use or the heat in the summer. It's free. And that's the way Hashem wanted it to be. Now, it doesn't mean by any means, you know this, that Torah comes easily. You have to work. You have to sweat, you have to toil, you have to concentrate. You have to invest your most valuable resource, more than money, is your time. And you have to be willing to sacrifice from the things of this world, the pleasures of this world, and the distractions of this world to grow in Torah. But money, you don't have to have. Part 2. Move on to Shavuos next week. And Megillus Rus. Custom of reading the book of Rus on Shavuos, many different reasons, and one of them is because the very end of the Sefer, of course, what's all geared up towards to lead to, is the birth of David HaMelech, King David, who's Yahrzeit Shavuos. One of the reasons for reading Rus on Shavuos. King David, David HaMelech, the greatest king we've ever had, and until an even greater king who will be his descendant, the Mashiach. The greatest leaders. The story of Rus gives us a little bit of the background of how he came into existence. The story, along with several other stories, makes it clear that this great exalted King David, this mighty warrior who composed the beautiful Tehillim, the Psalms that we say all over, that's so much a part of our daily davening, this holy spiritual warrior, his roots, his ancestry, tainted, questionable, you'd have to say even sordid. Rus was an amazing tzaddikus, but she also happened to be from the nation of Moab, an enemy of ours, where the Torah even has restrictions on being able to marry into Moab, even a person who converts. It was only because of the drasha of Chazal that a woman from Moab can marry a Jewish man, which was something that was questionable. People didn't even accept it as authoritative until many generations later. There were people who thought David's very birth was illegitimate. And that's just Rus and the whole story, of course, how Rus and Boaz got together. Complicated, it's not so simple, it's not easy reading, it's not G-rated material. And that's not the only story, because Moab themselves, it's not just that Rus was a Moabite, but Moab, the roots of Moab came from an incestuous relationship when Lot's daughters got him drunk. And the older daughter, not only did she sleep with her father and have a child, but she names him Moav Me'av from the father. She advertised it. And this becomes the nation. And that's David HaMelech's ancestor. The father's side wasn't so pashut either. Boaz, who Chazal says was Ifsa, was one of the judges, one of the shoftim, who's his ancestor. His ancestor was Peretz, who was Peretz's father, Yehuda, mother, Tamar. How about that relationship? Where a woman dressed like a harlot seduces her father-in-law with holy intentions, but those are the roots of David HaMelech. Unbelievable. You talk about Yichus. Very conspicuously absent there. That's part 2. Part 3. You put these two things together. And I think the very important takeaway message is what Hashem teaches us about Torah and righteousness. Great to be a Jew. We are not like so many societies, both current and past, where religious greatness was for the aristocrats, was for the higher classes. People who had money could get a top quality education. People who didn't have money, education is an extra, it's a luxury. You can't always have it. We are a nation, Hashem says, it's not just access to Torah. It's not just access to mitzvahs, but greatness. Greatness in Torah and greatness in spirituality. You can be the best of the best, and it doesn't matter whether you're rich, middle class, or poor. It doesn't matter if you're descended from royalty or you're descended from people that you're kind of embarrassed at the dinner table to even talk about who you come from. None of those things matter, Hashem says. Every single one of you, every single Jew, you have the capacity to go ahead and become great in Torah. I'm not going to charge you a penny. Yes, you have to work. Yes, you have to sacrifice. You have to commit yourself. But it's all within your power. Nothing can limit you. Don't say, I don't have enough money to do it. Don't say, I don't have the upbringing. Don't say, my community didn't raise me well. Every one of us has an opportunity for greatness in Torah. Chinam, like Moshe Rabbeinu, who taught the mitzvos for free and says, and just like Hashem taught me for free, I teach you for free, and that's it. Money should not stand in your way. And just like David HaMelech, who did not let all the questions about his pedigree and all the challenges he got through his life because of it keep him from becoming one of our greatest warriors, our greatest king, one of the greatest tzaddikim. And that's a message for every one of us. The only thing that's going to stand in the way of achieving greatness in Torah and righteousness Not money, not class, not family. The only thing that's going to stand in our way, the only thing that's going to stand in my way of achieving greatness is me. Nothing else needs to be an obstacle. Let's keep this in mind next week as we prepare for Kabbalas Torah. Every one of us has this potential. Nothing can stand in our way if we just work hard enough to grow in greatness and Torah and righteousness. Everyone, have a good Shabbos and a good job.